Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns on the quick on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's good, y'all? What's happening? Happy, what is today? Tuesday? Happy Tuesday to you. We are back in the building. We are live at lunch today. What's up? Let's get it going. Hold on for a second. Let me fix so I can make sure I don't go mute on you. Hold on. Yep, and I'm gonna move it out the way so I don't bump into it. So now I got a little bit of breathing room here, and so now we can get it done. So what's up? Good morning, afternoon. We're live at lunch. We got some things to talk about. Today. Like, I don't know what we're supposed to do. I want to hear what you guys want to do. The Eagles got some decisions to make. How far are we going? Are we going to go full tilt with the starters? Is the number 2 seed attainable? I believe Chicago has to lose to Detroit. Now, Detroit can beat Chicago. However, Detroit has been on the struggle bus as of late. Dan Campbell in this fourth downing, and all of that kind of nonsense, it's cost them games. And they got handled that last game. I forget who they played, but they got handled. Jahmyr Gibbs couldn't do anything, and they got beat pretty handily. And now Chicago with their game against San Francisco, that was a great game to watch. Looks like Caleb Williams is finally coming into his own. But are we going to risk our starters? That's the question. Are we going to risk the starters to play? Do we want to do that? I don't know. That was the Vikings. Thank you, Ant. Thank you. That was the Vikings. You are correct. But they got handled by the Vikings. So I don't know. What's up, Dave Money? We can't keep relying on the defense like this. You know what? You are 100% correct. However, Hugh Douglas said something on the radio a couple days ago, and I thought he was spot on. And it doesn't discount anybody's criticism of the offense. Hugh's response was simply, that's the task. That's the hand we've been dealt. Very similar. I'm going to go back a little bit. Y'all old heads might know, but you remember when the Ravens won that Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. Their offense was suspect. Their offense was average at best. Trent Dilfer was not as good as Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. So their offense was on the struggle bus. And the Ravens defense that year just absolutely dominated everything. Everything. I think they ended up losing 1 or 2 games. Same situation we're in. But what you have to do is just trust that they're going to get it done. And like Hugh Douglas said, that's the task. You might not like it. You wish it was different, but that's the task. That's the team you're on. That's the way the offense is playing. I would love to say the offense needs to play a lot better than they're playing. They need to be a little bit more consistent, but they're not. And the games that they help out the defense, we look like an unbeatable team. We do. But we cannot do that in any type of consistent level at all. And it's been killing us. So that's the task. And there's nothing really else you can do about it, say about it. It is what it is. And you just simply have to roll with it. Like it or not. Like it or not. So let me see. Trying to upgrade these let me see. Trying to multitask here. There we go. Putting the feelers out on the Facebooks. I still use Facebook, but I really don't go on Facebook that often. So, but people still be responding. So it is what it is. But in any case, that's the task, man. We got to do what we got to do. Chris says, rest the defense. O-line need to play offense, special teams with how bad they've been playing. I do not disagree with that at all. But especially our Pro Bowler turnstile center, Cam Jurgens. I don't know what the hell's going on with Cam Jurgens. I don't know. I hope he's hurt. I hope he just didn't forget how to play like that. I don't. He shouldn't have been voted to the Pro Bowl. That should not have happened. So, but it did, and we're here. So ain't no sense in bitching about it now. It is what it is. It makes him look bad. You know what I'm saying? So, it's one of those things. Good afternoon in the dark with a smile. So we got to figure out what we're going to do, man. What's up, Carlos? I see you in there. Tanner can beat Johnson. I agree. And I think they are leaning towards sitting the starters, putting them on ice. So, play them, get us some positive momentum. I don't think there's a wrong answer. The wrong answers only come if somebody gets hurt. That's the way that works. Let me see. They're playing for the number 2 seed now. It'll be treated like a preseason game, depending on how much we're beating the Commanders and what's happening in the Bears game. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't score watch during the game. You can't score watch and be like, ooh, they're winning, so we're going to sit everybody. Or they're losing, so we got to put the pressure on. Don't do that. You can't do that. You can't try to score watch when you got a game going on. What you got to do is you got to make a decision. Nick Sirianni has to make a decision because ultimately this is on him. You make the decision on what you want to do. You play him or you sit him. It can't be hemming and hawing and trying to guess during the game, trying to watch the scores, trying to figure out what happened, because they're going to pop the Bears score up a lot, and you're going to either hear some cheers or some boos from the crowds at the link. But that should have nothing to do with the decision that the team makes. Because if you leave it to the players are going to want to play. This is where the coaches, basically, this is where the head coach and the GM got to be the adults in the room and make the decision. Do you want to go for that number 2 seed, or do you want to rest them and possibly get the 3? Get stuck with the 3, because there is the possibility that Chicago could lose. Is it, Carlos? Does Chicago have to lose and we win, or is it just Chicago's loss? That's what I'm not sure of. I thought it was we had to beat Washington and Chicago had to lose the next 2, which this would be the second of those 2. But Chicago, even in that loss, they looked good. Caleb Williams looked damn good. So I don't know if Dan Campbell can pull something out of his hat and because Dan Campbell is a play for pride type of dude, but I don't know. Okay, we got to win and Chicago got to lose. Okay. So guess what? We got to make a decision. Before we get to game day, the Eagles have to make a decision. So I don't know. No matter what, don't put Ringo out there. Uh yeah, they on the tiebreakers. Yeah, yeah. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing. I don't want to get any. I don't want to get anybody important dinged up. I don't want to get anybody important dinged up. So, uh, yeah. Listen, that wasn't look, bruh. Stafford last night looked not good against the Falcons. Against the Falcons. I hope I hope that running back for the Falcons, man. I hope he doesn't end up with the Falcons for his whole career and end up losing during his prime because that kid, Bijan Robinson, is so good. He is so good. He is one of those dudes that's so good. You want to hate him. He's the kind of guy that when the defense tackles him, they help him up. He's just got that aura about him. He is that good. And I hope Atlanta puts a team around it so that kid will have an opportunity to win and possibly go in the playoffs. He's got that aura. He's got that it factor about him. And it's like he's hard not to like. So I hope I hope they get him together. I hope he has a good career until he runs up to I-95 and meets the Philadelphia Eagles. That kid was sensational last night. But yeah, Stafford looked human. I think I tweeted that out, and it's like all the people that came at Jalen when he had his one game, when he had his 4 turnovers, and I'm like, everybody gets a turn. Stafford got a turn. Jared Goff got a turn. Who's the other one that everybody loves? Trevor Lawrence got a turn. What's your boy from the Chargers? He got a turn. Everybody, Sam Darnold got a turn. Everybody gets a turn at quarterback. Everybody gonna have a stinker of a game. And that's the way it plays itself out. I'm glad Jalen got his out the way. And you know what? For everybody that says Jalen is too conservative, blah, blah, all of that kind of stuff, miss me with all of that. Because if Jalen Hurts throws a pick last night, against Buffalo, we lose that game. We lose that game. If he turns the ball over, the way our defense was running out of steam at the end. So by protecting the ball like he did, not throwing the ball to where there was nobody open, he helped us win that game. We had some opportunities. We dropped 2 passes. I mean, the one drop for Devontae Smith was not a drop, in my opinion. He had control of the ball when it touched the ground, so I just think they got that call wrong. But it is what it is. And then the one that should have been the first down that went right through his hands, he normally catches that. It did look like he mistimed his jump. It did look like he jumped a half a second too early, but he was still high enough to come down with that ball. And I think his body clock was just off. His timing was just off. And it went right through his hands. It hit him. That was almost like the same pass that AJ dropped that turned into a pick a couple weeks ago. So it happens. Everybody gets a turn. Nobody had that on their bingo card for Devontae Smith missing a pass like that. Usually he's the guy that goes up and gets them. He's the guy that goes up and gets them. And everybody get a turn. And unfortunately, that was his turn. So, stuff like that happens. Stuff like that happens. So, but we'll see what they're going to do. But they got to make the decision before we get to game day. They got to make it and yeah, just make the decision and whatever happens, happens. We're going to roll with it. We're going to roll with it. They wasted Bijan. Boy was making a miss. His portrait, man, listen, as a running back, Bijan Robinson is chef's kiss, man. We got Saquon. We got Bijan. You got Jameer. Jameer's nasty too, man. Just like we can't forget Jameer, man. Jameer's got so much speed. It's just crazy. It's just crazy, man. A lot of good running backs, man. And I don't want to get them wasted on bad quarterback play. Because as much as Kirk Cousins had his little viral moment and was telling you how it is, looking at defenses and the progression levels and all of this and all of that, Kirk Cousins had an average, below average day yesterday. So, oh, by the way, I got to say this, and this is me nerding out. This is me nerding out. I figured out how to watch Monday Night Football on my MetaQuest. I was like, yo, I was in the damn theater watching Monday Night Football. I was like, man, I'm done. I'm out. Y'all can't tell me nothing no more. Y'all can't tell me nothing. I'm in my little virtual world, and it looks like I'm in a damn theater watching Monday Night Football. I was like, y'all can't tell me jack. So I was loving it. And I'm trying to do some other stuff, setting up rooms and environments and all that type of stuff. So I will, in 2026, there will be some Pro Fan Talk Coach Marcus content on the MetaQuest. So if you ain't got one, go get it. Or grab the one from your kids that they ain't playing with no more. You can use it. You can use the MetaQuest too. So get a cheap one or something like that. But I was nerding out. My wife was giving me that look like, really? We talking about this again. I was so happy. I was so ecstatic that I got it to work, because it wouldn't work before, but I figured out what the problem was. It was a me problem, not the machine. And I got it right, and it was working, and it was glorious. it was real, and it was fabulous. Chris, what I tell you, man, you are never late. You are always on time and exactly where you are supposed to be. What's up, Keith Shorty? What's going on? But yeah, man, they got to make the decision, man. I think I really, really, really want those 2 home games, if possible. I really want those 2 home games. Do I want to get possibly 2 home games versus possibly getting somebody hurt? And the thing about trying to guard from injury, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. So that's the nature of the beast in the sport that we play. There's no guarantee. So, but we'll see. They'll figure out what they got to do. Just make the decision and go with it. Just make the decision and go with it. Let me see. Let me see. Did I hold on? Okay, I thought I hit my microphone by mistake. Unless they are close to incentives, sit them. But Eagles don't usually lock a lot of money behind incentives. Yeah, I agree. I would like to see Smitty get his 1K and shut it down. I kind of agree with that. Yes, we can beat the Commanders without our starters. I think Tanner McKee is kind of in line to have a great game. So, we'll see. I'm kind of like Ray Dinger though. I'm like, if we can get that number 2 seed, there's a lot that comes with that. So I wouldn't mind taking that challenge. I wouldn't mind, but it's a risk. But there's always a risk. The risk you have in playing. Why is the risk any greater for Jalen Hurts playing this game? What if it was a situation where they had to play and it was a win or go home? If we win, we're in. What if it's a situation like that? We wouldn't be having this conversation. But the risk is exactly the same. The only thing that concerns me is because you got like Louvu and some of those guys for Washington. Sometimes they can get a little squirrely and do some dumb shit. Do some extracurricular stuff after the whistle, trying to get away with it. And even if they get the penalty, if you stomp on somebody's hands and they catch you, you just still done wrecked my man's fingers or stepped on his toes or something like that. And as a running back, somebody that has the ball in their hands and you are the one at the bottom of a pile, don't think for a second that they ain't going to try to get you. Don't think that for a second, because it's coming. And I don't want Jalen Hurts to be the recipient of some dumb shit that we bitching about on Twitter, catching zoomed in video clips that the ref didn't call. What difference does it make? Look at what they did with that roughing the passer or unsportsmanlike conduct that they didn't call when the dude hit Jalen out of bounds. He was clearly out of bounds. And the ref was right there and they didn't call it. They ran it back. They saw that it was clearly out of bounds. How come the replay assist don't help with that? If y'all so gung ho on protecting the quarterback, that was obvious. That was obvious. And let me just be completely transparent. When I see plays like that, that's when I look at all of the people in the NFL and I'm like, that's why you get all these conspiracies about the ists and the isms. Because had that been Trevor Lawrence, had that been Tom Brady, or you name any other quarterback, if that had been Joe Burrow or anybody else, they would have got that call for sure. But why is it they always swallow the whistle when it's our team, when it's our quarterback? They don't ever do that. Curiouser and curiouser. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Washington, because I can see Washington doing something stupid. What do they have to lose? What do they have to lose? And you got some players that don't care. Because when it matters, they still don't care. So I don't know. So we always seem like we on the bad end of these missed calls. So Coach in Philly, we are used to it with random now. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. They just got to make the decision and roll with it. I'm good. I'm good with whatever they decide. If they want to play the starter, so be it. Get out there, handle your business, and we'll beat Washington down again. If they want to play the backups, Tanner McKee, you got the keys, bro. Don't wreck my shit. That's how you look at it. But I'm with you guys 100%. Our offensive line need that work. They do. They need that work. I don't know if you guys heard the part of Nick Sirianni's press conference. Saying that he got to do a better job helping Kevin Patullo. Why you got to help Kevin Patullo if he's your offensive coordinator? He should have everything on lock. So clearly that means that he ain't got everything on lock. Your offensive coordinator, the help should be coming from upstairs in the booth. When y'all looking at the defenses and seeing everything from that perspective, and then you can, call down and make a change. There's supposed to be a process with that. There's supposed to be a chain of events. That should already be in place. And the fact that he said he got to help better, like, nah, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. I don't care if it's your offense or not. He been here long enough to know what that offense is, and it seemed like he was struggling. And I say this all the time. You guys already know. Whenever we come out in that trip set, whether we motion to it or line up in it, and they run that damn bubble screen to the wide receivers, I hate that play. It's everybody knows it's coming. Everybody knows it's coming. And it seems like we can't think of anything to run. So that's like the default play. That's like the panic button in my opinion. That's a panic button play. And we do that all the time. It's like, why can't we think of something better to call? We ain't got nothing else in our playbook. Like, come on, son. So, and it's funny because I think by Nick Sirianni giving those comments about Kevin Patullo, I think he may have pulled the rug from any aspects of him being a head coach somewhere else. Not down. But some of these teams, they'll still spend the money and take the gamble with what they've seen. If these same teams and these same GMs and everybody that sits around that table and gets paid millions and millions of dollars to be the smartest guys in the room, and they aren't, if they can actually look at tape and think that Dylan Gabriel was better than Shedeur Sanders, then anything can happen. Anything can happen. So yeah, Mike Vick never got calls either. Yep. But to be fair, Mike Vick never slid. Mike Vick to this day probably still don't know how to slide. That's why I used to take them shots all the time. What's up with it being 3 holes every play against Jomo? Because they call it when they want to call it, man. I'm just not. uh, We beating a dead horse at this point. Like, you're not wrong. Everybody sees it, and they pick and choose when they want to, enforce the rules and stuff like that. And it's a bad look. It's a bad look. I would love to see Eric Bieniemy here. I think Jalen Hurts would get the most from Eric Bieniemy because Eric Bieniemy is a hard coach, and that's what Jalen Hurts likes. He said it himself. Playing for his father all them years, he knows how to be coached hard. Remember that clip where Jalen Hurts went to Nick Sirianni? He was like, "You can't coach me harder than that." That's the kind of stuff that Jalen Hurts is used to. I would love to get Eric Bieniemy here. I would love it. He should have been a head coach a long time ago. But for whatever reason, he on somebody's list. I don't know. So that's what it seems like. That's what the optics are with him. So I don't disagree. Yeah, Philly. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. We just gotta be a little bit better on that offensive line. A little bit better. I couldn't believe that Cam Jurgens got beat the exact same way he got beat the week before. I couldn't believe it. It was a swim technique, and he didn't touch the dude. And I'm like, bro, what the hell are you doing? And what is that play that we called it? Was that, I had to go back and look. Was that the same play that we called? Because you got beat the exact same way. It's almost like they looked at the film and then they recognized we was running the same play, and nose tackle did the exact same thing. That's what it looked like. And it just, yeah. I don't know what. Last year, Cam Jurgens was a surefire Pro Bowler. He earned it. This year, no friggin' way. I'm sorry. But I can't hate on them because they voted. It's a popularity contest. So, they need to start pumping up the All-Pro vote. That's what they need to start pumping up. How come we ain't got a show for the All-Pro when everybody goes gaga over the Pro Bowl selections? Who cares about the Pro Bowl selections? Don't nobody give a shit about them. Everybody mad because Travis Kelce got 157,000 votes. Well, you know why he got 157,000 votes. But it don't mean he ain't one of the best tight ends in the game. And it's a popularity contest. And who got more fans than him and Tay? Let's keep it a buck. So how you gonna get mad at him for that? That ain't his fault. That ain't his fault. Everybody bitch moan and complain. The NFL bitch moan and complain because they got sick of Taylor Swift being in there. But you know what? They sold all them extra jerseys. Every chance they get to show her in the press box or the Kelce booth or whatever. Every chance they got to show her up there, they did. So the NFL knew what they was doing. So they don't care about all of this stuff. More popularity means more money. That's what it comes down to. More money, more money, more money. So replace Cam Jordan with Jordan Davis. They pull a couple times, man, but it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just know it's got to get better next year because they got to get an OC in. And I do not know, but I'm going to trust that Howie is going to hire somebody that is not in the building. My prerequisites on an offensive coordinator is they can bring in whoever they want. They can bring in whoever they want as a coach, as whatever. But they got to keep Jeff Stoutland. Everybody else is expendable, in my opinion. You just can't. Jeff Stoutland is untouchable. So that's one of the prerequisites in the hire. You can't just bring anybody you want to bring. Jeff Stoutland is untouchable. So that's the rule. So I don't know who they're gonna get. So they'll figure it out. And bruh, say that again, but louder. Man, I'm so glad that AJ just sat around, did his thing. I'm sure he could have tweeted some more stuff and folks would have lost their shit. But at the end of the day, all of these people out there, and most of these people was in Philly. That's the shameful part about this. Most of them folks that was bitching and moaning was in Philly on our radio airwaves talking that shit. And then you see what a real diva is. And you looking at these fools like, really? That's what it was bothering you that bad because somebody tweeted. It was bothering you that bad. Some of these people in Philly, they sound, remember the Tattletales when you was a kid? Everybody got to tell somebody else's business that somebody else did it, that they cut in line. They took the last piece of pizza when they were saving it for somebody else. There's always a tattletale. There's always somebody that want to point the finger. See, that's what some of these radio personalities are like in Philly. You see, he got something to say. You see, he tweeting and nah, leave that shit alone. I don't give a damn about what AJ tweets about, talks about, does in his private circles. The only thing that matters with AJ Brown is what he does when he steps on the field at the link. Point, period, end the paragraph, full stop. Y'all better start playing with me. Some of these soft-ass Philly fans. Thin-skinned. Y'all like thin-skinned pretzels. Brittle. Y'all to be ashamed of yourself. Need to take y'all green card. Y'all can't associate yourself with Philly no more. No more. Ought to know better than that. We live in a time where we had the diva of divas in Terrell Owens. And you couldn't say shit about T.O. because at the time, Terrell Owens was the baddest wide receiver in the game. So you had to pick your poison. Do you want the production or does it bother you so much that he was doing push-ups in the driveway? Does it bother you that bad that he stood on the star after he scored a touchdown, after he put in work? Everybody got it mixed up. Worrying about the wrong thing. Worrying about the wrong thing. They wanted to look a certain way. They wanted to act a certain way. They wanted to talk a certain way. Fans don't know what the hell they want. They want a good guy to stand up there and they want the guy that they can bring home to their daughter and all of that type of stuff. And then the minute a running back or somebody says glory to God on television, people lose their mind. Oh, they got to mix religion. And it's like, y'all don't know what you want. Fans don't know what they want. Like, man, y'all need to shut up. Oh, my God. So, but anyways. Should just pay who? Should have just paid who? I missed the joke. I missed something. I'm trying to go up and see. Yeah. You're on an RPO with a long developing role. I don't know, man. Steen has been serviceable, but clearly he's not a starter. It seems like he makes too many mistakes because Fred Johnson was about to cuss him out the other day. I don't know if y'all saw that. When Fred came off the field, he was cussing and fussing after that play where Steen pushed the guy into him and he fell off his block. It was just not a good look. That's one of them plays where you see on tape and you just kind of look like, oh. And if it was you, you just got your hand in your head and you're like, oh my God, that was you issue apologies. Like, my bad, I owe you a steak dinner or something. Because that was just a horrible play. Oh my God. Who got hurt? Who got hurt? I missed it. Who got hurt? Allegations of assault. Oh, so it's a DMA or a DA account? I must have missed that. I didn't see that. Oh, T.O. Yeah, they should have paid him. He was worth it. He was worth it. He was worth it. The only mistake, in my opinion, the only mistake that T.O. made was getting so mad that Donovan didn't come to support him. And Donovan was like, I can't get involved in your checks. And that's like the unwritten rule. You got to stay out of my pockets. Because what I'm doing, negotiating, is what I'm doing. That's not your concern. And you don't want somebody else politicking for you to get paid because the reciprocation ain't gonna be the same. And that's just something that you don't do. I'm gonna stay out of your pockets. You stay out of mine. If you get that bonus, that deal, that contract, good for you. And that's, in my opinion, that's the problem that T.O. he wanted public support from Donovan. Donovan was supporting him. At least it seemed like that, in my opinion. But it seemed to me that he wanted Donovan to say, y'all better pay him his money. That's what it seemed like he wanted. And because he didn't get that from Donovan, he was like, he felt some kind of way about it. Them two jokers could have broke records. They could have been one of the baddest duos in the NFL history. In history. And the egos got in the way. The egos got in the way. So, you know, a different time back then. I like Fred Johnson. I think Fred has done a good job without Lane Johnson, but Tyler Steen has been iffy. He's had some good games and some bad games, but his consistency is, you can question that. That would be fair. I would think that he would grade out, though, to be honest with you. But well, I don't know, because I've seen a couple plays. I know last week. Let me bring that up. Let me bring that up. Last week, let's see if I can bring that videos. I'm gonna bring that play up with Cam Jurgens. I'm gonna bring that play up. Hold on there. Apartment. Nope, that's not the right one. Background studio, flapping wings. Ah, here we go. Oh my God, what is going on with this? I know. Oh, this is all jacked up. Okay, I see what we got here. Hold on. Let me see. I think you got an alt. Yeah, there we go. So that's down there. There we go. We're getting there. You know what? I might just leave it at this. I don't care. Right there. And let's see if we can drag this over. Aha! Got it. I think I'm there we go. I got it. Got it. Now we got to center it. See the stuff I got to go through with OBS. OBS is so powerful, but sometimes it can be crazy. Second screen. There we go. And you know what? I went through all of that and didn't even have to. Lord have mercy. But this is the play. This is from my video that I did after the Washington game. Right? Now watch this guy, and you're going to see what happens with Cam Jurgens. This nose tackle on the inside. Shay, watch him. Bro, and this was the one. Watch both of them. Watch Cam Jurgens and then watch Tyler Steen. Neither one of them blocked a soul on this play. Nobody blocks anybody on this play. Watch this. Neither one of them. That was horrible. Neither one of them blocked anybody. And this is the one where it was on Saquon, and Saquon just shook the nose tackle, spun out of it, and this was the 44-yard run. This was not because our offensive line blocked well. This was because Saquon is a freaking baller. So people get mad, and it's like, Saquon ain't lost a step. Excuse me, goodbye. This is the only reason he got that 44-yarder. He made a miss. The dude had him dead to rights. So all that nonsense about our offensive line blocking better and the run game is coming together, no, it ain't. This is Saquon doing Saquon things, and it shouldn't have to come to that. Is the point? It shouldn't have to come to that. And he got beat the exact same way against Buffalo. The exact same way. He did the exact same thing. The dude swum him, did the swim technique the exact same way. It was like verbatim. It looked like somebody pasted this on the game. It was crazy. It was crazy. But that's what happened. He's a Pro Bowler. So what was my takes for Monday night games with the Rams? The Rams are beatable just like everybody else. Ain't nobody scared of the Rams. Every time the Rams done come in here, we done handle business. So, I'm not scared of the Rams. Listen, they want Matthew Stafford to be the MVP so bad. So bad they want him to be the MVP of this league. And it's like last night was a perfect example. I was like, listen, he's good, but he got his faults and his flaws and his warts like everybody else. But I guarantee you, it ain't front page news. It ain't leading every sports show of how bad Matt Stafford was. Now, if it would have been Jalen Hurts, when Jalen Hurts lost to the Chargers, that was everywhere. So, it is what it is. We all know what it is by now. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, but I look at it like this. Fred Johnson, in my opinion, regardless of how he's been graded, I don't care what PFF say. When I'm watching, my eyes on he's not the weakest link on that offensive line. It's that interior. It's the center guard on the right. So he might not grade out, but guess what? He ain't giving up too many sacks. So, yeah, Steen has been so-so. So, other than him getting into the fight and losing some money, a lot of people think that's the best thing he's done. So, it is what it is. Yeah, that's what I was just saying, man. That's my favorite thing. He didn't have the greatest game. He missed open receivers too. So it is what it is. Chris, I said this morning on TikTok, I think not re-signing Mekhi Becton was probably Howie's biggest miss because we could have done it. I understand Slay. I understand CJ Gardner-Johnson. I understand what's the defensive tackle that we Booker that we traded to did we trade him or just cut him? He ended up going to the Raiders, I think it was. But out of all of the players that we let walk, I think Mekhi Becton was the mistake. Because we could have paid him. He didn't want that much money, and he was better here. He was in the right culture. He was in the right climate. He responded to Jeff Stoutland. And he was a top pick with the Jets. So his confidence was shot. And he comes down here and becomes a Pro Bowl type player. We should have kept him. We definitely should have kept him. Gonna need Jurgens to get a migraine. I hope they sit Jurgens because I want to see Brett Toth play center. Brett Toth did a good job when he played center. When they had Brett Toth at guard, at left guard when Dickerson was out, that was horrible. He was garbage. But when he played center, I believe it was against the Giants. That was one of our best run games of the year. And for whatever reason, they are sticking with Cam Jurgens. They're sticking with him. So I'm like, let Brett Toth get in there and see if he can't do any better. He can't do any worse. So I mean, you could come back to Jurgens. Stuff like this happens all the time. You can come back to him, but you got to get somebody in there that can get the job done. Period. And I say this all the time. Why you think Jimmy Johnson was so good? Why you think Bill Parcells was so good? Dan Reeves and all them guys, because those guys, those old school coaches, Belichick, they're not afraid to tell somebody, whether they're a veteran or a first-year player, they're not afraid to tell them people like, hey, you're not cutting it. So either get it together or we're going to get you replaced. They're not afraid to tell anybody that. So you always got the best man at the position. That's what it comes down to. I don't care what your feelings say. You want the best man at the position. And rarely does it happen like that these days. Look at Zach Bond. Why was Zach Bond on the bench in New Orleans? You mean to tell me that the linebackers they got down there was that much better with Zach Bond? No. He was buried under the money. He was buried under contracts. And it wasn't like those linebackers were playing badly. They weren't. But he just never got his opportunity until he got to Philly. And look what he did. KaVontae Turpin, I mentioned him before. He didn't just all of a sudden get fast. He'd been fast. Everybody saw what he could do before he was in the XFL, while he was in the XFL, before Dallas had finally signed him. You knew what his speed was. You watched enough tape to find that out. And how come nobody would give him a shot? Then he finally got a shot, and he never stepped off the field. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. I hope the backup O-line is better because that'll light a fire under their ass. Because now it's like you win to go home. We ain't got time for no foolishness. I need the best 11 on the field. So that's a possibility. What's up, Doc Jen? So that's what we're gonna do. Vic moves with the defense. Absolutely. Let them do what they do best. Let them do what they do best. That's the biggest problem when you're talking about coaches. Coaches get so much into their ego, they think that everything they do works. And it ain't got nothing to do with it's got everything to do with the players on the field. Prime example is what Gannon did with Hassan Reddick and having them drop back into coverage for the first 4 weeks of the game. Why would you do that? Because he was convinced that his way worked. Everywhere this man been, he got his hand in the dirt, coming off the edge, wreaking havoc on quarterbacks. Hell, he sacked Jalen Hurts 3 times when he was with Carolina the year before. Why would you drop him back into coverage? That doesn't even make sense. But because that's what you do, even though you got a stud here at edge, you didn't want to do it anymore. You just knew that this guy that's been getting sacks off the edge was going to be a good guy to drop back into coverage. You just knew that was going to happen. Like, come on, man. And that, like, there are examples of that all over the place. All over the place. I use the obvious example in Cleveland. These jokers sat around the table and watched film and had the audacity to say, like, yeah, we're going to take the 5'10 quarterback from Oregon over the 6'2 guy with the unparalleled accuracy coming from Colorado. Yeah, we'll do that. And then they get exposed. So I appreciate coaches that tell it like it is. I appreciate Vic Fangio that'll give you the truth about a player. If they're not playing up to snuff, he's going to say it. He's going to say it. If you ask him, he's going to tell you the truth. Because the last thing you want to do, and I'm one of those people, like I use Keely Ringo as the example. I was a huge Keely Ringo fan. Huge fan. I just knew he was gonna step in and ball. And like all you need is snaps, bro. You finally getting in, you finally getting your shot. I'm positive. I got confidence you gonna make it happen. Uh what had happened was he wasn't that dude. He wasn't up to it for whatever reason. He's still 6'2". He's still a powerful physical type cornerback. He still ran a 4.3 at the combine, but for whatever reason, this dude cannot turn his hips and change direction to save his life. He can't cover. And every time he steps in the game, he is the target. And everybody knows that now. Adoree Jackson was like that too, but Adoree Jackson has solidified his spot and has played a lot better the last 5 or 6 games this year. And you can't say it. It was only Kelee Ringo, and it was like, what happened to all the potential and promise I saw? Where'd it go? And it's not like a situation. It's not a Nnamdi Asomugha situation where he was playing one form of defense, then he gets to Philadelphia and they play a completely different defense, and you get mad because he ain't no good. Well, that's not the defense he thrives in. You got to make it work. You got to make it work. It's like parents when your parents used to force you to eat liver or eat broccoli or Brussels sprouts or whatever it is, the shit that you don't like. Why your parents force you to do that? You just gonna waste food. It's gonna come out one way or the other. Either I'm gonna spit it up or I'm gonna toss it to the dog on the floor when you ain't looking. I don't want to eat liver. I don't want you to waste it. I don't want you to waste your money on liver. I don't want to learn any life lessons by eating liver. But people get into that ego and their way works. And the coaches in this day and age that have gotten away from that and they reverse engineer it. I've got this player. Let me work out something that puts him in the best situation to be successful. Coaches that reverse engineer it are the most popular coaches. That's why the old head coaches are the best. Because they're not trying to please mommy and daddy. They're trying to put the best product on the field. And if the best guy is not the most popular guy, so be it. So be it. I agree with you. I think Kelee could be a good safety. I agree with that 100%. I'm surprised they haven't made that move yet. Chris, that 100%, dude. And there's a few coaches that don't do that. And I don't understand why more. Again, I think it's all ego. Everybody wants to say it's their system. I understand that Nick Sirianni is trying to start a coaching tree. I get that. But it hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked. Brian Johnson didn't work out. Kevin Patullo didn't work out. So, what's next? I agree. Definitely agree. Hell, even Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard was a miss. You see what he's doing? I think he's in Chicago too. So we've had players in here and then they go other places and then they just blow up. And it's like, no, it ain't like they didn't have talent. Byard wasn't here long enough to even understand the defense. But that was during the Matt Patricia fiasco. So nobody was in a good situation. They was making it up as they went along that year. Yeah. Yep. Made him a corner, moved back to safety. Let them do what they do best. Let them do what they do best. How come we don't have any zone reads for Saquon? And how come we don't run them on the regular? I get sick to death, and this is me speaking as a running back. I get sick to death when I watched that game last night in San Francisco, and San Francisco made them was running them zone reads. Bijan Robinson, San Francisco does it with CMC, and last night Atlanta, and they were talking about how Kirk Cousins had to get his stuff back together so he could run them zone reads and give the ball to Bijan Robinson at the widest point and at the deepest point, because he couldn't move fast enough to do it. But he had to get his Achilles right and do everything so you could run that play. And all he did was basically, it's a stretch play off tackle. And they call it a zone read because the offensive line, you block anybody in your zone. You leave it up to the running back to run where the hole is. It's the running back's job to find the hole. And you saw what Bijan Robinson did. Hell, you saw what Saquon has done this year, and definitely what he was doing last year. But that's the type of stuff we should be running, because you got to help out the defense. I'm sorry, you got to help out the offensive line. I'm sorry. Hell, our offensive line do look like they be helping out the defense sometimes. So, but as a running back, and when you got somebody like Saquon, run it. He's got enough talent to do that. This man is spinning out and jumping over folks backwards, and he done did all this kind of stuff. And you mean to tell me he can't read a zone read and go to where the hole is? Absolutely, he can do that. But do we scheme it up? Nope. Everybody else does, but we don't. We don't. After we got gutted by Chicago on the ground, DeAndre Swift and whatever the other guy's name was, and they hit us for like 200-something yards. It was crazy. I'd have been going over that footage. I'd have been running the same damn run plays. I don't need style points. I just want to be successful as an offense. The NFL is a copycat league anyways. Why you think so many teams are running a tush push now? Because now that we can't run it well, now everybody wants to do it. And there's not so much controversy about it. They was full of shit from the rip. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. Makuba was a good pick. Makuba had a play. What popped on the radar for me, Makuba, it was a game, I want to say, against Texas. I could be wrong. Makuba is from... Okay, he played at Texas. Who were they playing? They were playing somebody, and Andrew Makuba it was a goal line play. Andrew Makuba came up and just launched somebody. I'm trying to find that play. I don't know who they were playing, but he came up and made a hit. Oh my God. And I was like, if I find it, I'm gonna play it. But I was like, this is it. It was against Alabama. It was against Alabama. Was it Georgia? I can't tell. It was either Georgia or Bama, because it's the same color helmet, but you might be right. I think I found the play on ESPN. Yep, hold on. Yep, it's Georgia. Boom! And he brought in a shoulder. I said, God, dog. This is when Andrew Makuba was on my radar. That play right there. That play right there. Watch this. Bye-yow. That's when Andrew Makuba was on my radar. That play right there. And I was like, okay, this kid is not very big, but he knows how to play physical. He laid that quarterback out. So we got some guys in there that can play. I think Andrew Makuba, because I don't remember him getting hurt a lot in college. So, that's the thing that happens. You got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy, man. So, he was pissed about that. Yeah, I think a lot of people was. I don't think they scored. Did they score on that drive? I can't remember. I just remember seeing that hit. I was like, damn, because the Georgia's quarterback helmet came off. Oh my God. He laid the boom on him on that one. So Yeah, Andrew is one of them ones, Doc. Andrew is one of them ones. He got a. I like the way he plays, and he's one of them guys that the more snaps he gets, the better he'll be. So I hope he gets healthy, and we can. Our secondary should be solid next year. Our secondary should be solid next year. So, um, yeah, yeah. Was it his ankle or was it his knee? His ankle. Yeah, we just got to get him right. We just got to get him right. We got a good defense, man. We just, our offense needs to be better. Our offense needs to be better, man. So, but we can do it. We've had flashes of it, um, and I think that they have to figure out what they want to do. You know, and everybody go in and smash that like button. I only see like six of them in there, so make sure you smash the like. Step one, fire Patulo. uh, listen, Kevin Patulo is not going anywhere, not till after the season anyway. So we got what we got, so we'll be fine. So we'll get through this year. In my opinion, we can still win the Super Bowl with Kevin Patulo. So if they was gonna fire Kevin Patulo, it'd have been on that break. It'd have been on that when we had the Monday night game, and then or was it a Thursday night game, and then the next game was Monday night or something. We had a long, like a mini buy, like a 10-day buy. And if they were gonna do it, if they're gonna make a move, that was the time to do it. And once they did not, I was like, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere unless he, you know, go up to Sirianni and smack him in the face or something goofy like that. That ain't happening. Um, I don't, Blunt. I think his time is done. Um I think he's had more than enough time to show if he could be the guy that they need as a play caller. And I just don't think he's there yet. So it serves no purpose to fire. You got the halfway point. You got to your bye week to make a move like that. Because as we learned with Matt Patricia, it doesn't work out. I didn't think they should have fired Sean Desai because Sean Desai did some good things. Now, I'm going to guess that it was some behind the scenes stuff that was going on. And guess what? If we can fire Brian Johnson, we can fire Kevin Patullo. Shoot. And that's not and Brian Johnson was friends with Jalen. He worked with Jalen when Jalen was in high school, I believe. So you had some familiarity there, and I was like, that's going to work to our benefit. No, no. And then you got rumors why what was Brian Johnson really being handcuffed with the offense because maybe he didn't want to run that offense. I don't know. Yes, the root cause of the issue is offensive line, 100%. Yeah, I don't mind haters, Panda. I don't care. Haters are gonna hate. They gonna always be there. Ain't really much you can do about it. Um, I always wondered about that because you don't just number one, you don't get promoted like that, and number one, you don't stay in the offense that long. You don't learn. It's not like you didn't learn something. So I always wanted to see Brian Johnson go somewhere else, but he's not an offensive coordinator somewhere else, is he? I don't think so. He might be an offensive coach, but I don't think he like you're not going to know the answer to that question until that happens. He is. I don't know where he is now. After he left the Eagles, hold on. He's the no, no. Is he not working? He is with He's with the Commanders. He's assistant head coach and offensive pass game coordinator. Oh, so he's doing the same thing for the Commanders that he did when he was with the Eagles. So he's with the Commanders. Okay. Gotcha. But he needs to go somewhere and be the OC. So, and it's going to happen. I guarantee it's going to happen. He'll get a job. He'll get promoted. And that will determine whether or not what was going on here. That will be determined. We'll be able to look and say, man, he could have been doing that here. It'll either be that or we won't think anything about it. It'll be like, well, that's why he got fired in Philadelphia. Or it'll be like, now you see what he can do when he has full total control of the offense. So it's going to be one or the other. So as bad as spacing has been between routes and concepts, how has the wide receiver coach gotten away? No blame. Anybody even know bro's name? No, but that is on the OC because the OC has to explain that and drop that off. And the OC has to explain to the wide receiver coach what he wants. So that's still his game plan. And then the wide receiver coach says, okay, this is how coach wants to run it. Then you go to the next step. So it still starts from the top. So I'm not blaming that on the wide receiver coach because I had a couple plays like that for my breakdown. It was like, this spacing is horrible. Why we got 3 people in the same damn place? So that's not necessarily on the wide receiver coach. It all depends on what they got to do. We ran one play. It looked like it was like 3rd and 8, and A.J. Brown was running across, but he was shallow. He was like 3 yards deep. And I'm like, even if you do get him the ball, what is he going to do with it? He ain't got no room to run. So scheme-wise, I don't understand Patullo's logic and why he's calling some of the stuff that he's calling. And again, after I heard the comments from Nick Sirianni about I need to help him, I was like, no, you don't. That's it. He's supposed to be competent in that situation. Now you can override him if you think something is better, but no, he shouldn't need help. That's what the people in the booth are for. They get a bird's eye view of the defense and then they radio down and like, hey, this is, analytics say, here's how they've been playing all day. Analytics say, and the analytics and what we've been seeing on the field looks like they're lining up. They're aligning. So that means we got our information right. But sometimes you got to think on your feet, and it doesn't seem like they can do that. Doesn't seem like they can do that. So I don't know what they're going to do. Don't know. Yeah, I got questions about them hot routes too. I definitely have questions about them hot routes. I do not disagree. I don't know why it seems like it is so difficult to run hot routes. I don't understand that. I don't get it. Because I saw a couple plays and I was like, dude, it's the blitz. It's the blitz. Why don't the play that Steen blocked his guy in the Fred Johnson? That was a blitz. No, that was a twist. I'm sorry, that was a twist. But I'm like, I grew up where every now and then a running back would find themselves in the slot situation based on a shift formation where you lined up here and you're inside, and then the guy outside of you goes in motion. That puts you at the slot. So if you are in a wide receiver's position, the rule was you've got wide receiver rules. And the hot route says if the guy that's guarding you blitzes, you have to recognize the blitz and immediately look for the ball. You don't have to run a route. You don't do anything. Usually the route was you look immediately or you set it down immediately, but you got to look for the ball as soon as you see that guy go. That's how we were taught. That was a hot route. Throw it to where they ain't. It wasn't to burn somebody deep. It was to get the ball out of your hands, especially if it's a DB coming off the corner blitz or something like that. You don't have time to wait for the deep ball. You got to let it go. Listen, I know. I know. So, you know what? Dallas Goddard is a receiving tight end. He is adequate at best. I don't even want to say average. He is adequate as a blocker sometimes. Grant Calcaterra, not so much. But you can balance Dallas Goddard's offensive production and his blocking ability. I can balance that out. I can make them zero out. Calcaterra doesn't catch too many balls. So I need you to block and take them edges off. And if you can't get your hands on the edge while he's coming in and bearing down on our quarterback's backside, we got to find somebody else. Latu was the replacement. We got questions, but those are draft questions. Those are stuff that we got to figure out next year. So I'm not too worried about those. Not too worried at all. We can, but you got to scheme it. You got to scheme it, Chris. You know what? I don't know if Latu can catch. I've never seen him throw him a pass. I would imagine he can catch to some degree. I don't know. Maybe they should find out. Spend the summer with him. Really put him through the ringer. And I guarantee you by the end of the summer, he'll be able to catch. Yeah, Jack Stahl wasn't that great blocking either. I'd rather have a traffic cone. Yeah. And we continue to run 12 and 13 personnel. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And whose fault is that? Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, man. Eagles, y'all got a decision to make. I'm about to get up out of here. Got some running around to do. Might mosey on over to the Amish flea market today. Get some good food, get some good deli cuts and some meats. I always get guacamole from the Amish market. They make guacamole over there that is off the chain. So I always make sure I get me some. So I know the wife says she wanted to go over there. I know she want me to go to Sam's Club today. So it might be doing that too. So, but in any case, I'm gonna get up out of here. Good conversation, man. We rocked for about an hour, 15 minutes. If y'all, for y'all that don't know, I had to share this with y'all. I was trying to integrate TikTok, and I use StreamYard to go live. StreamYard has a feature that lets you bring in other platforms, and StreamYard is like the hub, but you can kind of broadcast out to every place. And I was trying to get it set up, and inadvertently, I ended up going live on TikTok today about like 10 o'clock. And I was like, the instructions say if I click this button, it's not going to be live. And lo and behold, it was live. So I was like, screw it. So I ended up going about an hour. It was like 45 minutes, I think. It was about an hour. But in any case, we had a good time. So I'm trying to do more on TikTok. That's one of my goals for 2026, to put out more content, to more produced content on TikTok. And it would really, really help if I could figure out how to get StreamYard to go to both places at the same time. They got an interface for it on StreamYard, but it does not work. And I don't know how to use it. So, but we're efforting. We're efforting. So we're going to get that done. We're going to have some more stuff for you. But we got to handle the business at hand. Philadelphia Eagles, figure out what y'all want to do. Do you want to start them? Do you want to sit them? Whatever you do, that's what we're going to roll with. Make the decision, and those are the cards we're going to have to play, period. So, Streamlabs, I'm gonna have to look up Streamlabs. I know a lot of people that use Streamlabs, but when I started on this podcasting journey, the guys I was working with used Streamlab or StreamYard, and it seemed like it was very, very easy. That's why I said, but I will check out Streamlabs. I will definitely check that out. And I could use Metal. I don't know what Metal is, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. So I hope Smitty gets the 1K. I hope they let him play, get in, get out. I don't know how many yards he needs. I would imagine if he'd have caught that one ball he dropped, he may have had it. I do not know. But in any case, I'm gonna get out of here. I might be on late tonight. Today is Tuesday. I know me and Tone go at 7:30. So me and Tone will be out tonight at either 7:30 or 8 because I have to find out. I'll be on tonight, but it'll probably be like 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. So hey, I appreciate you, man. This has been a good conversation. Yeah, good numbers. And we're gonna keep doing this thing, man. So I'm gonna get up out of here, go on through the rest of the week. Enjoy playing with y'all toys, all your Christmas gifts and all that kind of stuff. As I said, I'm playing with mine. So I'm gonna get up out of here. Trevon Diggs got released? What? All this breaking news. Lord have mercy. All right, Trevon Diggs got released. Damn. They ain't messing around, man. They ain't messing around. So, all right, I'm gonna get up out of here. I guess I got to do a video about that in the next couple minutes. Good grief. All right, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate what you've been doing. Appreciate you rocking with me in 2026. I'm probably gonna have a wrap-up video. I do that all the time for New Year's. I don't know what I'm gonna do on New Year's. I don't know if I'll do a New Year's stream. I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know yet. Depends on what the wife wants to do, because my wife just likes to chill out. So get a little alcohol. I drink alcohol, and I don't even drink alcohol. I drink cider, so I ain't even gonna front. It's not. I got a thing of bourbon on my shelf, but it's got the. It's an Eagles bottle. That's the only reason I bought it. It's an Eagles bottle of bourbon. I'll never open that. But I usually do get like Strongbow or some type of cider, Angry Orchard or something like that, because I love cider. And that'll be it. And we'll probably eat. I might cook a brisket for New Year's. Yeah. So we'll see. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Y'all have a great day. And I will holler at y'all later. I will let you know. Check my Twitterverse. And I will let you know what's going on tonight with me and Tone for the Bald Eagles podcast. So holler at y'all later. Appreciate everybody in the chat. And I will see you again. All right. Go Birds.